Welcome back. Well, let's go live to the US now and bring in the Australian's Washington correspondent, Adam Creighton. Adam, great to see you again. Look, let's get straight into the biggest news coming out of the US. Kamala Harris selecting Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. How has this news been received by both the Democrat and Republican parties?
Well, certainly I think on the Republican side, there's been a sigh of relief because it was not the candidate that they feared most. That candidate was the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, which is a state that certainly both of the parties really need to win in November to win the presidency. So Harris has gone with this guy from a very small, fairly left-wing state. Tim Walz, of course, a 60-year-old former teacher, former soccer coach or football coach, I should say. He comes across well, he speaks well, but his policy record is extremely left-wing. And so the question now is, how is that going to play to the wider American public? It's worth pointing out, too, that 90% of Americans don't even know who he is. So he's not very famous here. I mean, of course, he's going to become famous now, but I mean, he's the governor of a small state with less than 6 million people. He's been elected twice. So now it's really a question of the rush to define him by Republicans.
Are you concerned that his policy positions are quite radical, are extremely left-wing?
Well, look, they are. I mean, he signed legislation to put tampons in boys' bathrooms, to make gender reassignment surgery much, much easier for teenagers, to give illegal migrants free healthcare, free education, to phase out fossil fuels. His behaviour during the 2020 George Floyd riots was extremely questionable. I mean, he in effect let the biggest city of Minnesota, Minneapolis, burn for 3 days before sending in the National Guard. So there is plenty of material there for Republicans to attack, and certainly they have already started doing that. So it's just going to be a matter of whether it sticks or not.
There's speculation that Josh Shapiro wasn't chosen because he is Jewish, because he has been, I mean, nowhere near as supportive of Israel as we have, but, relatively for the Democratic Party, supportive of Israel. This is very concerning. And it, do you think it gives an indication of how Kamala Harris might differ when it comes to Middle East policy and her support for Israel from Joe Biden?
Yeah, look, it's certainly concerning. I mean, we can't get inside Kamala Harris's head and really know why she did not choose him. I mean, most of the reporting is that she just liked Tim Walz, so she liked his demeanour and she got on with him. So, look, I'm going to have to take that at face value. But certainly there's an element in the Democratic Party that is very anti-Israel, and some reports suggest that she feared protests at the convention, which starts in a couple of weeks if she had have chosen Josh Shapiro. So, look, I basically think the Democrat Party is overall pro-Israel, but certainly there are elements that are not, and I think this recent episode has really illustrated that.
I would have to disagree with you. The Democratic Party has not shown itself to be pro-Israel at all. I think, I mean, there were 80 Democrats, weren't they, who wouldn't even sit through Benjamin Netanyahu's address to Congress. I mean, that's not even listening to the Israeli leader who's been fighting.
I think it was just 25 or so, but point taken. Yeah, there's a significant.
They couldn't even sit there and listen to the Israeli Prime Minister, who's been single-handedly fighting the war against terrorists since October 7. I mean, Joe Biden over his career has been supportive, but you just worry that he might be among the very few that have had a long commitment to Israel. You wonder whether US would continue to send weapons to Israel if Kamala Harris was president. I mean, these are questions that we need to be able to ask Kamala Harris if she ever did an interview.
Well, she hasn't. Yeah, that's right.
And she hasn't
taken
exactly.
a single question
All right.
yet.
Adam Creighton, we're out of time. Great to see you early there in Washington.